On the morning of her 62nd birthday, Evelyn Hartman woke up in her quiet Dayton home with hope fluttering in her chest. She made pancakes, Nathan's childhood favorite, and set 2 plates, imagining her only son would appear like he used to. He hadn't called much lately, but birthdays, she believed, still mattered. By noon, the other plate remained untouched. She checked her phone repeatedly, reread old texts just to feel his presence. Then finally the doorbell rang. Nathan stood there holding a small grocery store bouquet. "Happy birthday, Mom," he said. Evelyn forced a smile and hugged him tightly. "You came?" "Of course. Get dressed. I made lunch reservations." Relieved, she wore her best sweater and the shoes that pinched her toes but looked nice. She felt almost girlish as she slid into the passenger seat, but they didn't go downtown. Instead, Nathan turned into a long driveway lined with maple trees. Evelyn stared at the sign. Silver Meadows Senior Facility. "Nathan, what is this?" "We need to talk. You're not safe alone anymore. With your memory lapses." "What memory lapses?" He didn't waver. "This place is safe, comfortable. You'll have activities, friends." Her voice cracked into a bitter laugh. "You brought me here on my birthday?" When she refused to get out, Nathan opened the trunk. Her suitcase sat there packed without her knowledge. "You went through my things. Don't make this harder than it needs to be." Inside the facility, he handed workers legal documents, transfer of power of attorney, already signed. She saw her name, his signature. Something inside her snapped. They placed her in a beige room facing a brick wall. No cake, no candles, just silence. That night, lying on the too-firm mattress and smelling bleach on the sheets, Evelyn replayed every moment she'd ignored, every time Nathan gaslit her subtly. "You're forgetting more things these days, Mom." "You told me that already." Perhaps he had been preparing for this. The next morning, she asked for her phone. "Your son disabled the line," a nurse said. "He thought it confused you." That was when she understood. Nathan didn't place her here to protect her. He placed her here to erase her. Days passed in a blur. Nurses called her sweetheart and hun, talking to her like she was ancient or invisible. No one asked who she had been, what she'd done, what she still dreamed of. Her roommate Doris slept all day and talked only of relatives who hadn't visited in years. Evelyn tried to keep her mind sharp with crossword puzzles and the news, but each hour weighed heavier. She had given Nathan everything. Now she was a room number. On the 4th day, a young nurse with pinned braids entered her room. Maya Collins, the first person who truly saw her. While checking vitals, Maya whispered, "You don't belong here." Evelyn blinked fast, refusing to cry. She told Maya pieces of the story, enough to make the young nurse frown deeply. Later, Maya returned, holding something folded. "This belonged to Mr. Henley," she whispered. "He passed last week. We found it in his Bible. No family claimed it." A slightly worn lottery ticket. Evelyn chuckled wearily. "And you want me to try my luck?" "The world owes you something," Maya said. That night, long after the halls quieted, Evelyn sat at the ancient computer in the lounge and typed in the numbers. She froze. Every number matched. More than $6 million. Not joy, fear shot through her. If Nathan discovered it, he'd find her, take control, maybe worse. She printed the confirmation and hid it in her bra. The next day, she whispered to Maya, "I need a lawyer." Privately. Maya nodded immediately. 2 days later, Daniel Reeves, a volunteer attorney, met Evelyn in a tiny break room. Evelyn slid the printout toward him. "Can you help me disappear?" Daniel didn't flinch. "We'll need to move fast." In a whirlwind, he established a blind trust, secured a temporary address, arranged a burner phone, and created layers of legal protection. Nathan would never see a cent. Before dawn, wearing donated clothes and clutching a duffel bag, Evelyn hugged Maya goodbye. "Don't forget us when you're free." Evelyn didn't cry as she walked out the door. Nathan had dragged her through days earlier. This time, she wasn't a victim. She was disappearing on her own terms. The small house in rural Tennessee was quiet old brick, chipped paint, crooked mailbox, but it belonged to her. Evelyn cooked simple meals, wrapped herself in a quilt on the porch, watched dead leaves roll across the yard, and checked the news in fear of her name appearing. Instead, she found Nathan's Facebook post. "If anyone has seen my mother, Evelyn Hartman, please contact me or the police. She's been missing for days. We're worried." Hundreds of comments praised him for being a devoted son. Evelyn laughed until tears blurred her vision. But the photo he used a birthday image from 5 years earlier, the two of them smiling with party hats, cut her deeply. How easy it was to perform love online. Unable to sleep, she sat by the fireplace, remembering every loan she gave Nathan, every excuse she made, every time he insisted she was forgetting. The next morning she called Daniel. "Update my will. Nathan gets nothing, not a dollar, not a memory." Soon after, a plain envelope arrived with a photocopied loan document dated 12 years ago, bearing Evelyn's, Richard's, and Nathan's signatures. She had never signed it. Digging through documents Daniel helped salvage, she found more forged signatures. Loans, lines of credit, even her old catering business was used as collateral. Worst of all, Nathan had signed Richard's name 2 years after Richard's death. This wasn't neglect. It was fraud. Public records revealed the full horror. Nathan Hartman was already under federal investigation for tax fraud, embezzlement, and identity misuse. Some identities belonged to dead people, some elderly, some hers. Evelyn gathered every document, printed and labeled everything, recorded audio notes of her own timeline, and finally mailed a full packet anonymously to the Department of Justice. If Nathan wanted to hunt her, she would make sure the law hunted him back. Nathan struck first. A certified letter arrived. He was petitioning to have her declared mentally incapacitated. He submitted statements from people she barely knew, doctored audio clips, and a letter from a psychiatrist she'd never met, painting her as unstable. Daniel reviewed it all. "They want control of your trust, but we'll fight." Evelyn underwent an independent psychiatric evaluation with Dr. Simone Keller, who told her afterward, "You're the most lucid person I've seen this week." The first hearing felt like stepping into a storm she'd once feared. Evelyn wore a navy coat and her late husband's watch. She walked with quiet strength. Nathan stood when she entered, wearing a mask of worry. To strangers, he looked like a devoted son. Evelyn saw only a man who had discarded her. Nathan's attorney described her as vulnerable, confused, manipulated. He played the edited voicemails. He waved the fake psychiatrist letter. Then Nathan himself said, "I love my mother. I'm doing this to protect her. She's not herself." When it was Evelyn's turn, she walked slowly to the stand. "My name is Evelyn Hartman. I am 62 years old. I am not mentally impaired. I am not lost, and I am not anyone's victim." She provided Dr. Keller's full evaluation, her call logs, clean medical records, an affidavit from Daniel confirming she made every decision deliberately. "He put me in a facility without my consent. He took my freedom. Now he wants my dignity. Don't let him." The judge postponed the verdict for 2 weeks. In the second hearing, everything shifted. Daniel spoke first. "Your Honor, we have confirmed that Mr. Hartman is currently under federal investigation for financial crimes, including identity misuse and tax fraud." Nathan froze. Dr. Keller testified firmly that Evelyn was mentally sound. Then Daniel revealed the timeline, showing how Nathan attempted to seize her finances precisely when his business was collapsing. When Nathan was asked to reply, he insisted, "She's being manipulated. This isn't her. She wouldn't act like this." Evelyn stood. "I am her. I am the woman who stayed up with you when you had the flu at 6, who pawned jewelry to pay for your classes, who cooked your favorite meal when I couldn't afford my own groceries. I am her. And you left me in a facility like I was nothing." The courtroom went silent. The judge leaned forward. "Mrs. Hartman is fully competent. This petition is dismissed. All her rights and accounts are restored." Nathan didn't speak as she walked past him. His mask had finally cracked. After midnight, Daniel called. "The DOJ filed charges. Nathan's officially under federal investigation." Soon, headlines blazed. Nathan Hartman indicted on multiple counts of fraud and identity theft. His business clients fled, credit cards froze, his wife filed for divorce, the devoted son facade collapsed. Meanwhile, Evelyn remained silent for 2 days. She cooked breakfast, watched frost melt on the yard, and breathed. Then, Rachel Miles, a national journalist, reached out. She wanted Evelyn to tell her story on camera. For the first time in her life, Evelyn didn't shrink. She agreed. The interview aired on Friday night. "It's not just about me," she said on camera. "It's about every older person thrown away under the excuse of love. I was almost one of them. I won't be quiet anymore." Millions watched. Support poured in letters, emails, stories from people across the country. Nathan eventually accepted a plea deal, 10 years in prison. The final letter he tried to send her was returned unopened. Instead of revenge, Evelyn chose impact. She created the Evelyn Foundation, providing legal and financial advocacy for elderly victims of abuse. One cold gray morning, she walked back into Silver Meadows. The halls were brighter, the bookshelves fuller. Maya greeted her with a tearful hug. Evelyn spoke to the residents. "You are not a burden, you are not forgotten, and you are not finished." Later, at home on the first snowy day of January, she wrote a letter to herself. "You weren't weak, you loved deeply, and when they tried to write you out of your own life, you picked up the pen and wrote your own ending. I am so proud of you." She folded the letter into a wooden box on the mantel. For the first time, Evelyn understood. Freedom isn't given. It's reclaimed. And she had reclaimed all of it.